Hi there, viewers and gamers alike out there, and welcome back for more of Arkham Twin Days Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy live stream. Brought to you by Capcom. Available now on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC and Steam. I'm pretty sure it might be on it, and the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, another day, another time for another life to go through. So yeah, I kind of noticed there's a live stream, the first look of Pokemon Sword and Shield. So yeah, it's I'm kind of not, well, as much as I want to go back to visiting live streams and premieres for the K-Wings, I only did visit one live stream, and that was about it. And so why not? And you know what? Why not we continue our journey forward and say hello? This is episode 15. This is Alliance Teen, Arkham Twin Days Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy live stream, and we are back in the Ultimate Arkham universe. So why not do we go forward, even though just for fun and just for kicks? Man, when you start a live stream, it's kind of really hard to understand or to comprehend where do you want to go and where to meet. Especially some Alliance members are Wingding fans, including myself, but I rather not talk about it so much, so why don't we move forward? Day 3, Trial Former. Here we go. February 24, 9:41 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Oh-ho! So what do I think, Mr. Wright? Oh, look, and Spider Cop. I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. Hi, Kyle. How's it going? Welcome. Welcome back to the Ultimate Arkham universe of Arkham Twin Days Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy live stream. Part 15. Jake Marshall's testimony. So, how you feeling right now? Not having a headache right now, as in for the time being? Because I know you. You have the headaches comes and goes, and you realize you don't have a headache, and then on the thumbnail emoji, well, actually on the emoji, it means you are okay. In other words, you're good to go. What's up, Princess Isabel? How's it going? And how is your brother Tackle doing? Just wondering, how's Tackle doing? The last time he was on the chat, he was okay. The second last time he was on the chat is that he was drinking a milkshake, and he kind of got, I don't know, how do I say this? He kind of got woozy, like, hello everybody, like woozy. Hello Simons, how's it going? Welcome back to the Ultimate Arkham universe. In other words, this is right here. So yeah, how you doing, Simons and Kyle and Princess Isabel? I know she was right here just a moment ago. I know there's a live stream on Pokemon Sword and Shield, but that's on the K-Wings Let's Plays, which is Amber's playing right now. However, I'm still kind of traumatized of what happened. You do not traumatize a person by playing for not getting a turn. Because of that, I had to avoid not coming to premieres and live streams. Of course, I came to that live stream on the 01 channel when K-Wing was raging at issues on that game of Batman Dark Tomorrow. I did not want to stay there because of reasons, because of what happened to that one stupid mod. But enough of that. Let's move on. Good morning, Lana. Alright. You was indisposed? I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. He's doing good. Nothing bad happened to him. And speaking of milkshakes, I'm about to make something very usual. Okay. What kind of milkshake would that be? I don't mind having one on the live stream. I do have vitamin water. Just your friendly neighborhood spider cop drinking protein shakes and diet foods and organic foods, if you want to know. And I did a little bit of parkour. Yes, I did a bit of parkour. I'm not Peter Parkour, to be honest. You shouldn't let one mod keep you from your friends, people like you, Leo. I know, Simons. I remember who that mod was. DK dude. But enough about him. He was the former mod. But like I said, enough about him. I want to grow up with a new generation of mods, a new generation of people who absolutely care. For those who are people who are antisocial, you're not gonna let up, Leo. I mean, yeah, that's what Simon says, and Simon's is definitely going to be one of the best mods, including Kyle. And this is why I chose Simons, who is trustworthy enough to be a mod, because he is responsible. Definitely, he's trustworthy, because with being a mod with great power comes great responsibility. And someday, too, I would also like to be a mod, either on the K-Wings Let's Plays or on K-Wife's Gaming Life. And to be honest, when that day comes and when the K-Wings do trust me enough to be a mod in their channel, on their main channel, besides the K-Wife's Gaming Life, I will also accept that with great power comes great responsibility, feel, because that would be... I'm stubborn because he should win over a good person. You know what? You're absolutely correct, Simons. I absolutely 100% agree. Oh, Simons, you know how to put a smile on my face, including on the dark times, and you're one of the best friends I ever have. I mean, besides Ruga and Kyle. I know Ruga's like the main mod of the K-Wings Let's Plays. I know he talks to me, but he doesn't usually talk to me as much per se on my other channel, because he's the most busiest type of guy. And let's not talk about what happened to Bro last month anymore. Oh, okay. I think about the other character the other YouTuber is not a mod. Squidward. Chat. But enough about him. He became, he became a jerk. And that's all I'm gonna say. But anyways, a new generation of people. Some people who have not talked to me before, and I've talked to one of them, and you're not gonna believe, Sonny Boy, the last time he talked to me, Sonny Boy talked to me was during the Arkham Knight videos, before there were so-called premieres. Oh boy, and he was in the Night 01 channel live stream of Batman Dark Tomorrow, and I'll give you that, and he is completely, wow. He remembers me so much. I remember him. Oh, man. I miss Sonny Boy, including, So I hope that those people, for those who did subscribe to my YouTube channel, even those who are from the No One, I've got to tell them I'm not too far away. You just click on my channel, just one click and you're there. It's like I'm just there for 3 seconds and then I came back. Jake Marshall. Oh, no wonder. I thought it was 2 L's or 1 L, so his last name has 2 L's and not 1. Thanks. That's the trump card I have up in my sleeve today. I know I've watched Pokemon before since I was a kid on Warner Brothers, and somehow, and you want to know what? Ash never grew up. He's still like a preteen who's never aged. I think he's stuck. I think he's absolutely stuck in a time loop that never ages. It's weird. Oh my goodness. So, to think of when you're stuck in a somewhat of a time loop, maybe per se, but not really. It's like you're in the land of Lemuria on Golden Sun, the Lost Age, when time moves quite slowly. You age, but you still remain young for hundreds of years, and then you finally grown up, and then you look young, but you're absolutely like 200 years old, maybe 300, 400, 500, like the Time Lords from Doctor Who. February 24th, 10 a.m., District Court Courtroom number 9. Oh-ho! I'm Officer Meekins who's taking the names of this. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see if I can get this right. British accent, Scottish, and Welsh and English are what? Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. Well, that's not physically possible, is it? Hi, X-Starlina! And you are welcome and you're welcome very much, and it was nothing, X-Starlina. You're always welcome to premieres and live streams as well, and definitely. And by the way, virtual hugs for you, X-Starlina. What's more, I heard the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. And I unkilled our doll and okay, when I have to feel like I have to put in the Welsh accent from Wales a little bit. Wow, this is one messed up trial. On one of my duties as a prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In doing so, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Very much indeed. He is on top of things, I'll give you that. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well. Let the trial resume. On that day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgewood, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? That would be Officer Meekins. Oh boy! Things Things are getting wild from the get-go. That's him. Oh, I can hardly wait. Hey, you guys, when we did a live stream somewhat back then, like 2 live streams ago for this series, did you guys took away his megaphone because he uses the megaphone so loud and it hurts everyone's ears and it's like rumbling in yours, it makes you go deaf. Can someone take away his megaphone, please, and his megaphone privileges, because I'm getting tired of him. Yes, sir, I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. Sorry, you're not telling us you're a professional killer. Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. Are you nuts? I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me. Actually, anyway, like I said, what I'm going to call you part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't be possibly comprehend. Please, listen. Sure, sir, help me, sir. I don't know. Look, I'm not trying to sound like Pee Wee Herman, which I cannot do. Hey, kids! Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report to the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir. Yeah, I cannot fault him for a lack of enthusiasm either. Crime report, sir. Okay, I would say Meekins versus Marshall. That would have been, say, Meekins versus Marshall. Yeah, that would have worked. The moment I end the live stream is the moment I'll change the title name. Meekins versus Marshall. That is a great way to say the name of the title. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious tongue twister. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life and then I did it. After that I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim, Detective Goldman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you! That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you're fated, and the colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir, he knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense began its cross-examination. In a goofy kind of way where you say you committed the crime, but I believe you didn't, but just confusing. What I need here is more info to work with. Alright. What did he meant by saying? He said, although it's not my normal duty and I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I know I'm gonna have to press every statement. Hold it! Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. this guy. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission of the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very important mission. After that award ceremony finished that day, there were soon... Hold on again, come on! Work with me, will you? Alright, sorry about that. It's just sometimes my controller acts a little weird. Alright. That I've relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? He said I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. Hold it! In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! My God, this is the one right here! Could you please rate us the number? Yes, sir. 4989596. That's my number, sir. And where's my mommy? Yes, my ears are bleeding in front of this guy. Take away his megaphone, please. Take away his megaphone. I see, but that number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. Right now, indeed. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time is when I went to get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Okay, the ID card record has now been updated to his name of his ID number. So he said I was only doing what I was trained to do, and I was suddenly attacked. Hold it! So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir! A knife! Detective Gordon pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looks as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand, which is my left. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. So he said, I fought for my life, and then I did what? I'm gonna hold you for that. Hold it! What exactly did you mean when you say you did it? Did what? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir, like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? What? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. He must have been desperate. Great. If only Bruce Lee would have seen you by now by saying you lacked the words of Jeet Kune Do. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew, yes, he punched me right in the face, sir. Okay, he said after that I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Hold it! About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30 p.m. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying for tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor, only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief delivered it? What is that, a videotape? Yes, sir, an absolute right, sir, a videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
Objection!
Objection! What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, no? And for that, and was told it is to be mistakenly erased. What in blazes? That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder? Just what are we getting ourselves into? Don't worry, I'm just saving if you want to know, so don't worry. See, just saving. Here we go. Okay, that's the video. Uh-huh. Yeah, fun song. There's the Goodman in the white coat. There's the Blue Badger. There he is opening the door, or the safe lock. There's Officer Meekins. Right there is the blood spattered on the coat. He was attacked. And there he is unconsciously. There's his megaphone. And bingo, we got ourselves another clue. This looks like Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's. What's up, LaFlash? Welcome. Yeah. It seems Phoenix, Wright, and Miles Edgeworth are absolutely shocked. Even I'm shocked, as well as your friendly neighborhood spider cop. How's it going, LaFlash? Why is everybody in silence mode? Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. Yay! Virtual hugs! I love virtual hugs, Starlina, always. You are the best. You are the best Alliance member who gives out virtual hugs, and I love it. I adore warm, fuzzy hugs. Because, I may look strong, but inside me, my heart is like to that of a teddy bear. And you just got out of school. Nice. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stored within us? What the heck was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Okay, I know I'm not a guy who swears, which I don't swear in this channel at all times, of course. There's usually something that comes up with, or something that, but I'm trying to be I'm trying to be an example. Security video is now added to the court record. Yes, well, anyway, this tarp seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room and some sort of activity took place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. Okay, his next testimony is the mystery man. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Again, that bleeds my ears when he uses a megaphone. What's this about the fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can be only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead. Oh, don't mind me. I was just drinking my vitamin water. Come on, you know what it feels. Okay. Hope you guys pay attention for cross-examining statements. But everything begins with contradictions, and that's where we have to start. Hope you guys are good, even though a game like this should definitely take up, a game like this, for those who play it, feels like you're going to law school to understand as a defense lawyer and a prosecutor. So, yeah, that is something worthwhile, but I'm just saying that. I mean, it's kind of like you're doing your own homework, of course. But this game is rated T because this has its own Arkhamverse, but however, this game is a part of the Ultimate Arkham universe, and everyone is in it, including those who are in the live stream. He said his face can't be clearly seen on the video. Hold it! Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter? The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? It's, yeah. That looks like a cat or a chicken or I don't know. I couldn't tell, Kyle. But it's a fun way to put an emoji. Oh, roar. Kyle Bryant's emojis and a bear from Five Nights at Freddy's. That almost sound like a Wookiee, but close. Oh, a kangaroo. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, that is a kangaroo. Thank you for clearing it up for me. All to the point. You're all the person who fought them, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir. But I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see? Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I put my badge on it, dude. I hate you, Meekins. He says, but there is no question that the other person was Detective Goodman. Are you sure? Maybe we're gonna press you on this. Hold it! But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label... Yeah. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins! What? Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir! You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him! For starters! He said, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. Have I seen the new Pokemon Sword and Shield game came out? I have heard of it, but K-Wife is doing a live stream on the K-Wings Let's Plays if you want to know, so... He had been desperate for the policeman, some of it... Hold it! About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir, I tried. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to register fingerprints, sir. Oh boy, Simons love my voice of Officer Meekins. It's like, I bet you guys love the voice acting of when I do Officer Meekins, when I combine the voices of Don Knotts, Shaggy, Mickey Mouse, and Tobey Maguire combined with it. And what do you get? Officer Meekins out of Spider-Man Web of Shadows. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then it must be the person that the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir, in this too! Stop it! He said notice my favorite Pokemons are not on the Pokédex list. Unfortunate, yeah. Unfortunate this is. So he said the locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker? Hold it! How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir. From people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir, they keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. Is this guy going on a day of looking for a romantic book novel? For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. So he said, so it must be him and no one else could have unlocked it. Hold it! However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir? Please don't. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsold snake can't testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. Okay, I understand your point. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. We can check it. Don't worry. Just another save point, and then I go back to it. See? Go back to it. Is there a problem with the security video? Yes, there's a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange, and I spotted several problems with it. I spotted several of them. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? His video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgewood? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out? Your friendly neighborhood spider cop and Phoenix Wright ace attorney? Very well. Proposal accepted. Proposal accepted. Let us well inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out the problem in the video. This is the first time I ever had to do that. So there is a setup I can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Right. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. It makes my eyes turn black. Whoa! How did this guy ever become a police officer as a kid? Okay, I thought it was close to it, but nope, I was wrong. Another save point. Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. What is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Okay, so rewind is the square, circle is pause, fast forward, present. Okay, I know I spotted something. More like 4 or 5 Nights at Freddy's. 5 Nights at Freddy's. That's funny. Hold on a second. Okay, there's the locker. I can't, let me keep on playing. Bingo! There's some blood right there. The thing that's strange about this video would have to be this? Hold on a second. I need to use my eye drops. I don't get it. Oh, would you mind if I borrowed your eye medicine? Oh, come on. Let's play the video again. Says the one who points the finger at us. Okay. I can fast forward. There's the coat. I did realize that there was that white glove. Something has fallen out of the lock. Wait a minute. Go back. You're telling me to go home. All right. You say something fallen out of the locker. Hold on a second. I'm gonna pause. Oh, whoop. There it is. Right there.
Take that!
Yes, this is strange. Good. All right, Kyle, you know this. Something suddenly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What you are looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman. Oh, yeah. Ooh, I almost walked right into the fence's trap. I'll place him under arrest, sir. Dude, I need to slow down and tackle these things one piece at a time. Let's play the video again. It's not like I'm gonna get hurt for no reason. Welcome back. Alright, here we go. Okay, I know this light is on. Welcome back, Princess Isabel. But I noticed that the white coat was something else, if I want to know. Okay, there he is. Yeah, I know he says he could not see the man's face. Jeez. Whoever did a good job on this, really click on the light, you say. Hold on. The light okay, Kyle, are you saying the one that was already open, or the one that's closed, if you're telling me? The one that's open or the one that's already closed? Because I know that light was already on. Oh, the one that's already, okay, open. Okay. Whoops, gotta go fast forward a little bit. I got a little mixed up. Got a little mixed up on it. Hold on a second. Okay, he was opening like halfway. So yeah. Okay, there's the locker that's already opened. So, if you're saying open, was it opened or halfway? Is it fully opened or halfway open, if you're telling me, Kyle? I mean, I noticed that the light was already on, but, okay, when you say open, we'll try that.
Take that!
Oh, the light may mean it was unlocked beforehand. No. Okay. I thought you said it was open, and then I went to... We're going to have to go play the video again. Oh, man. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Oh, cut it out, Officer Meekins. We'll play the video as many times as we want. That.
Take that!
Why is it Officer, the strange thing about this has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint if it's a match. The light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. The light was on. The light on that evidence locker was on. It was already on. So why did this person went in that way anyways? Right there. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. But the glove that fell out kept it open, That's right. Here, notice the light. Right there. What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Order! What is the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know, it must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect any and report any malfunction. Oh, well, it just goes to show your novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor. Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Something jammed the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Another clue in this footage. A locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point the cause for this. Okay. Here we go again. Yep, there's the lock. And there's the glove right there. Yeah, but the glove that fell, that kept out of the... Okay, the light it was unlocked beforehand, but the glove that fell out of it kept it open. Really? I mean, I'm trying to think of the glove or something. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Right there. Moving forward. Look, it goes automatically. I'm not in charge of it. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great discussions of... We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? Yeah, something between what happens if it went between the handle of the sensor and what was in it. So, right there, the white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Are you saying that the glove was caught between the door that was in between the sensor and the door itself? Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. The object would happen to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you mean... I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? Oh my gosh! Why does this always happen to me when I try to do a Scottish accent? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker room? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker room? It was a rubber glove. That's the only thing I can think of is the rubber glove. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. I can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is that not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir. Order! 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 So we ought to believe then that the victim, whom this witness found in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman. Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well. Begin your testimony. Delicious vitamin water. Hi, Draco. Welcome to Arkham Twin Days Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy live stream. Welcome back to the Ultimate Arkham universe. Mystery Man number 2. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter this evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. And at the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. How is Chad? Oh, besides myself, well, I'm going to say I'm doing all right. How about you, Draco? How are you doing? The ID used at 5:14 p.m. Is that out of the victim? Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transfer. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. All I did was try doing a video and she said it was too loud. Aww. I see. And, I mean, there are some things that are perfect and others are not. How can drawing make noise? Drawing doesn't make noise. That's art. There were only a few cases up for transfer there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I say, now let us move on to the cross-examination. Okay. He said there's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. Okay, we're gonna press you on this. Hold it! So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be a solid, rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, it even give a paper victory sign, sir. Again with the dumb megaphone. Let's hit him out, Foley. As what I've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. He said to enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. Hold it! Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right next to my cup, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you? Keeping it out in the open like that. Well, maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time, it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony. He said when an ID card is used, there's a record of it. Hold it! Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this... Miss Angela, your name is on here! So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again. Unless we heard him being a prosecutor with evidence. Mommy, is he turning blue? Don't stay with him! He's a jerk! It seems, oh my gosh. The coroner committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. Well, now let us continue with this cross-examination, please. It's not very funny indeed. He said at the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Hold it! Earlier, I believe you testified when you asked the man to show his ID card. He pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was to show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. I'm confused. The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth not to miss something like this. So, in order to do something, we're gonna have to contradict his testimony on this part, so yeah. He said there was one thing, it proves that it was Detective Goodman. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Used his card? So at the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. That's in his unstable jar. Marshall's fingerprints. I know that's going to be like way later. Let's see. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. That's a lost item report. That's Miles Edgeworth, Officer Meekins, Bruce Goodman, and Officer Meekins again. The detective had used his card. I mean, wouldn't he use his card by opening up the evidence locker? Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. Wait a second. Why would at the time he was use his card?
Objection!
I am wrong. Okay, so that is not it. I got penalized for this. So, why? I am confused. Okay, an investigator's ID card found at the crime scene. At the time of the crime, the detective... But it says found at the prosecutor's office crime scene.
Objection!
There! Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It is a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report. It's only half completed, but it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Hold on. So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order with burgers and fries and drinks. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If this victim is this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgewater. The defense has already done the explanation for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lorna Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so you're aware. Welcome back, Draco. What do I do? Wait a minute. We need to object.
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. There were two things that were shown part in this video. One right there, and the other of the bloodstain. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. The handprints. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Plain hamburger with nothing on it with fries and a Sprite from McDonald's. When the judge says order, he asks you what's your order, from McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or Jack in the Box, you know, or Dunkin' Donuts. Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. If it's just, I would have say, Meekins' testimony, that would be great, but I should have known. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, who do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person who you would have to testify. What is his or her name? That's easy. Officer Jake Marshall, Walker, Texas Ranger. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. I, Draco the Animator, shall never betray Leo, or thou shalt have head cut off. Wow. Thanks a lot. Okay, Draco. Whatever you say. After all, this is the ultimate Arkham universe. Wow. Everything's campy, everything's a slice of life, everything's comedy, and things can be dark. That's alright, I've read the comments, Draco. You're as good as gold. By the way, I'm just going to say, but I didn't say that the live stream is over. No, it's not over. It ain't over until it's over. There is no stopping us with me as your friendly neighborhood spider cop and Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. What do you mean, Lana? I haven't figured out anything that so far. Even if Lana tells you this, she's kind of having troubled thoughts. Lana, even for those who don't recall for asking for protection, even if they do deserve a second chance, and even if they don't deserve it. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Gumshoe, I don't think this is not a good... yes, I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to tip it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. You better be, pal. Hey! What? I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky! Have I brought what you asked? What? You mean this, right? You was forced to use Mr. Wright's name in making the request? My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll meet them by noon. Talk about crazy! The SL9 incident. Well, I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Miss Sky was a witness? Files for the name of Joe Dark, solved 2 years ago. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders or something like that. Ooh, that must have hurt Draco. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? Why is Emma's name on this case? Lana, what are you doing? Are you trying to hurt Emma's feelings here? Two years ago, the rest of the world knew it was the Joe Dark killings. Oh, I think I know why she remembered Joe Dark. Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Hey, Mommy! Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Oh my gosh. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone's involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. I better take a good look at this file. I'll help you out, Phoenix. I'm just your friendly neighborhood spider cop anyways. Let's see. Don't worry, we're continuing the live stream. I did say Meekins versus Marshall anyways, so why not? Still, Officer Meekins is translation introductioner. February 24th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Oh-ho! The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lona Sky. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime, Jake Marshall. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Well, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgewood described that way before. That's because you haven't watched Western movies like Clint Eastwood and John Wayne. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? Our desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with your testimony on the day of the crime. In plain old English! Day of the crime. It's just me, Leo, and Leifa. Oh, Leifa. I know who you're talking about. We'll move on. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They say I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but it ain't my style. Besides, that room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man. So if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining. My gosh, stop being a jackwagon. Ugh. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Well, yes, about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers. Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's being a jerk. He's not that good with machines or with following orders. We need tacos from the Old West, LaFlash. We need tacos. It's Officer Marshall. Permission to say the F word. If it's press F for chat, which is respect, yes. But if it's saying F as in cussing, I do not recommend it. Because the moment it's being shown, it has to be taken off immediately. So, type F in chat for respect is alright. Saying the F word for cussing and swearing is not okay in this chat or the live stream, because I don't want to see anybody commit a bad example and people will start hating the person in that chat, and it's not very good way to say, what was he doing? Oh, okay. I love my friends here. Oh, okay, Draco, I understand. F word is friends. Now that is something new, Draco. I love it. I absolutely love it. Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? But no cursing, okay, Like I said, you always keep the chat PG. Always PG. This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, it's all yours. Alright. Okay, partner, since I'm drinking my own vitamin water, how come you're drinking your own little, what was that little canteen thing? It's not a spittoon. He said my job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. Really? Hold it! How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? just make sure nothing moved on the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time guided there. I was just a caretaker who entered the recordings. You interred them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I erased the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I erased a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, and that wasn't your style? Hold it! But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you hear what I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules gets in his way. Ah, you're kind of doing that like, I get it. I know, it's like you're doing like S is for friends who frolic on the flowers, U is for you and me, and is for anywhere and anytime at all. I get it. Fab. Fab. Definitely, I love it. Friends, awesome brothers. I love it. Those desperados I know join the police force. Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I know he's lying. I've been in that crypt for weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Well, thanks. Thanks, LaFlash. He said besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. Hold it! You used to be a detective, so you used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a back works. It's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. Right. At any rate, it doesn't seem that it is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? He said, if I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time it went down? Hold it! What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even an Angel steak lunches can beat that parlor's Bongola Sapia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgewood says, did you not want a raise this year? So he said I'm just an innocent traveling man. So if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Hold it! Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or you like to call it evidence. If you plan to pin me on this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back to the west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up in my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I better up the ante. Okay, that. Then that. On innocent bystander. Hold on, let me save on that part. I'm just an innocent man I'm just an innocent traveling man, so I'm out of ammo as time I hit the trail. I was at the street side saloon at the time it went down? Wait a minute. Let's see. What did he meant? That's the King of Prosecutors trophy. Let's see. Goodman's note. The switchblade knife. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's, brought back to his office by Gant's request. Evidence room floor plans. Extremely thin rubber glove. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it is open. Said I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Hit the trail? What do you mean by hit the trail? I'm gonna be a good man. Wait, I don't know. I mean, I tried. That's the locker. Let's see, that's the unstable jar. No, that is not gonna work. I am not very concerned. Objection overruled. What about the video? That does not work on a witness's statement. Oh boy. Let me see. I'm gonna try to load up again. That's 1709. 1701. I see you put up messages of the alphabet. Okay. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. A street side saloon? The room's protected by 2 security cameras anyway. Floor parking lot. Evidence room floor plans. What about the video? What about the security video? No, it doesn't contradict on that part. Alright, it didn't win me any points. Wait a minute, what about the... ID record?
Objection!
That does not work. Oh. I'm not concerned about that. Boy, I do not want to lose points at this guy, if you want to know, so he is tough. Okay, it's not the videotape. Wait a minute. Found on a bloody handprint left at the print had been wiped? Marshall's fingerprints. Are you?
Objection!
Bingo! Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? Why would he deny by saying I wasn't in the evidence room? That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you drag me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
Objection!
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what is the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the scene of the crime or the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. What? I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall, about the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. This should be interesting. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murder touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Where my fingerprint was by chance, the bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murder was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. A witness's explanation appears valid. Although there's no room for doubt, life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. And I know he's lying. He's hiding more than just a lie. He said it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. Only natural? Hold it! That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. Right there. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Okay, updated Marshall's fingerprints. That has been wiped. He said one of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. Hold it! So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just happened so. The murder touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, the murder touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Right there. Hold it! The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one argued just the opposite. The chances of that one not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? He said the blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Unrelated? Hold it! Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. Is it right? Although seemingly alike, they are totally different. I don't see what I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Wearing gloves? Hold it! How do you know that? I may be a lawyer, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, though it may be lit by the murder. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean a murder wearing gloves happened to place that hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? The seal of blood in the desert. It's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trial isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video? So he kind of added that testimony, really. Hold it! What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? That video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could have leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection!
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Aye, Tackle. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Oh, we'll show evidence. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Oh, don't worry, we're gonna point out the save point, and then we go back to the evidence. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at that video. Show us the incriminating evidence on the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. Oh, I remember something about it. I can fast forward on this. I remember seeing that white glove. There is Officer Meekins. And there's Meekins being attacked. Not yet. There's Officer Meekins being unconscious. Right there. Take that! Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. Not bad, partner. Not bad. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. You see that? That locker with the white cloth sticking out. So how you doing, Tackle? That's the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. The coat was shown on something and it was not shown. Oh, a white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Hold up, hold up. It was in the... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. What? So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine, or was something like that. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? Playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to... But you are the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it! Really? You will say... Are you telling me I'm a liar? found on a bloody handprint on Marshall's own locker. The print has been wiped off. Come on, really?
Take that!
Sorry, Your Honor. Only he can open it. I should know this. It really likes to press my buttons, you know. Oh my gosh. Fine. I'll prove to you that you opened that. Tag evidence from SL9 incident, extremely thin rubber glove.
Take that!
Bingo! A fingerprint sensor! We talked about this earlier today. What's up, Homer Batman? Your friendly neighborhood spider cop is back on the case, taking on a Walker, Texas Ranger who's not Walker, Texas Ranger from the South. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? I only got 1 word for you, partner. Order! Witness, explain yourself! If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Order! Please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? Well, we're not... Well, if you're in Basque Country. That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. Wait, Carl? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence locker room. Oh, handle the chat. You got a headache again, Kyle? Oh, sure. Simons will take over, Kyle. You'll need a break for that headache. Take care, Kyle. You can watch from the premiere will be coming up. It starts at 7 o'clock. Mountain, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific of Gotcha Memories. So, yep, it starts in a little over an hour, 15 minutes. So we got plenty of time before this stream is over. Take care, Kyle. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right, the only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hit it. Well, where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? I can think of something like this. Officer Marshall was standing right here. So Officer Meekins didn't see him standing? That's almost credible as Meekins' walk theory. Oh, shut up, Marshall. He really knows how to bite my ear. one place he could have been. Where was Officer Marshall standing at the day of the crime? I see there's his locker, and I can't remember exactly per se. Where was Officer Marshall standing on the day of the crime? Right next to the victim? Oh, that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct. Unless that man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his ID card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed to enter the evidence room, or he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? He is sweating. You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? Is he still denying it? You're gonna have to do better than to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. Oh, you... Oh, we got something like that. I can't sign off particular care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence putting beyond the shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening! So it's obvious he's the one. What can I do? What? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. What? I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Try thinking outside the box, huh? But rather, I should look for evidence that came out because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been seen. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime, and after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video's my only shot. Very well, let's take another look at the security tape. And going from another save point, it'll go to the Trilogy. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. Open the... Let's see. What did he... What did he have to show in a way to put in the locker? Yeah, that I can see. Keep playing. How did he disappear is beyond my imagination. Let's see. All I can tell is something to do about that blood stain. There's the paint. There's the knife. Wait a minute. I know there's a piece of evidence that was right in front of my face. Hold it.
Take that!
For some reason, you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, though I don't know what to end yet. However, something unexpected happened. I think I pointed out the right key. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Not bad. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated you. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent than you are today, as we all wouldn't have to be here now, wouldn't we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it! All right. It seems the time has come. Marshall's confession. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed him like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape, and I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's only one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. I guess he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Marshall's confession. He said he had to do it and you couldn't just stand by and let it die, really. Hold it! When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to be completely with an end with the transfer of that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I what? You stole the detective's ID and dressed up like him. Hold it! Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. On the detective's ID card, I stole it that morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by officer. Despite your lack of foresight. Very much indeed. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprint. You can't change. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker your glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. He said I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins and you knocked him out. Hold it! You pulled the knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during the short time. Officer Meekins suddenly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edward get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry I had to turn out that way, with me knock him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. Sawyer, isn't? Are you sure it's all right bringing that evidence dagger with you to shave in the courtroom, really? So you knocked Officer Meekins out and... He said it managed to escape and you knew which areas you wouldn't be caught on the camera. Hold it! So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it wouldn't make a difference, though. The security tapers will race every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So if you're saying is on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m.? Hold it! But the bloodstain found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, what is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid situation or a solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. A witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. He said I can't just forget the SL9 incident. Okay, hold it! But the case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down on that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think is the real reason is? I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I'd better take another look at that files. I think I know what was he talking about. Let me go save on that reason. Just for kicks. I think I know what I'm going to present. The SL9 incident files. The files for Joe Dark killing solved 2 years ago. Objection! Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. Uh-oh, I think I think he doesn't like to know what he wants to hear, but he has to know the truth. In a list of murder victims, Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right, he was killed. And the case fell into your hands. Well, what's his relation to you? It was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, and then Deputy Chief of Police. Lorna Scott, the group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. Was killed before he got killed by Joe Dark. That was my first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions? Indeed. There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you tried, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze me. At exactly the same time the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going at the police department. Chance. It's got to be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lorna Scott.
Objection!
Now wait a second, but wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained a mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got a draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lorna Scott. And the testimony of Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. I rest my case. At It seems this trial has reached this conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disapproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security cameras tape really was fake, but I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. The court finds the defendant... Emma? A scientific objection? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor, I, in a sense, hear you out. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. You were kind in a shock, finding out that the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Oh, wow, you two went down on you, Simons? Wow, oh my, I'm sorry. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? So you did find something. Huh? Wait a minute, but... is that all? And I'm just an attorney. So if we can't find something wrong with them... Me? Oh boy! Time's up now then, Mr. Wright. Oh boy, time for me to save once again, even though he likes to give me the razor's edge. Any reasonable doubt remain. It appears that the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If I ever needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with the handprint that Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing?
Objection!
We gotta eject. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. There's only one... The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at the floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Again, I gotta go save again. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing on the floor plans? The Blue Badger? I don't know. I could be wrong. Hi, Charles.
Take that!
What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Well, it takes time. It takes time to earn trust and gaining that momentum. Draco. That's how it means to be a mod, and that's how the K-Wings kind of do this, and that's how I do this as well. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans at the scene of the crime. You're always going to be my buddy too as well, Draco. You're always a lot of fun to be on the chat with. Besides, without you, we would, it would be nothing. I need to have stickers. I haven't got the stickers yet if you want to know, but hopefully soon, once I reach 1,000 or more. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. The Blue Badger. Well, what? That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. So that means, just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces are undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Think it through scientifically. Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room. That's right. And he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean that this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Oh, just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor. I only been a mod once, and that was because my cousin was friends with him. I'm sorry to hear that, Draco. You don't have to be a member of K-Wings to be a mod. K-Wing already has enough mods, but if his channel gets better, maybe. I know. I agree with Charles. I mean, once I become a mod with the K-Wings, I will use that responsibility to do with good and never for my own personal gain, if you want to know. That's why I don't want to, like, do something really stupid as a mod, even if I did try it. But I would never, if the K-Wings did chose me as a mod, I would use that for good and never for my own personal gain. But Draco, in the near future, there will be a time you will be a mod. Just not right now, but soon. But soon, when you gain enough, when you earn my trust, and when you try to do something like this, I believe that the time will come. The same thing goes for me with the K-Wings as well. But trust me on this, Draco. Do not give up by being an example to others, as to people, to show how good you are as a really good member of the Alliance. You said, on my first day of this, he said that K-Win has to trust you so you can be a mod on Leo's channel. I did say that. I have to earn his trust, not gain his trust. I have to earn Luke K-Wing's trust and Amber's as well, if you want to know. That's the solution key. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, the blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? Indeed, how? One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time, someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been... I know, mod isn't look easy. I know I've seen people from K-Wing's Let's Plays in the past before said I want to be a mod, including from the 01 channel and the K-Wife's Gaming Live, but because sometimes if people want to say I want to be a mod because they're kind of not trustworthy, to be honest. If you want to be trustworthy, you need to earn their trust, not just earn their trust quickly so fast. But it's all right. It's all right if you're not a mod, Draco. We're all here to just have fun. When the time comes, Draco, you'll know when it is your time to be a mod. Do you trust me on this? Do you trust everybody for those around you? This is what it means to be an example to others, as you're being your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, and to have fun with others and not the bad kind. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
Objection!
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? We're trying to help you. We're trying to help you, Draco. We're not trying to make you feel bad. We're trying to help you understand the things may be having hardships, but as the days go by, you'll understand that the days will get better soon when we go from better to understanding to earning that person's trust. That's how it works. Whoops. To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgewood said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. And every time I have to save, I'm not even close. Come on, will ya? Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? the first crime took place. What? Let's see. What shows when the first crime took place? The first crime took place, really? I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Jar pieced back together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing. I don't know. Oh, it's the jar. If it is so simple, then don't get it wrong. Oh! No, that did not work. The first crime took place before the blue badger was brought into the room. Before the blue badger, so it was before the blue badger. No, I thought that was it. Nope, that was not it. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Let's see. Record of Let me see. Can I present this? Oh, it's that one. If the crime took, it's the ID from the time record. This one. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. No wonder I gotta remember when the crime took place. An ID card. Oh, the ID card. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40. Ah! Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you have the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. entered into the evidence room. Let's look at this chart again. There's only one other card number remaining missing. 777777. Talk about a lucky number. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goldman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777777777777777. I'm gonna stop now. Mr. Angela, please look at this ASAP. I find whose ID number is 77777777777. Okay, I'm gonna stop. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I am unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 777777777. Okay, now I'm having that disease. Belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous! Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted, an official charge. You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Here comes the biggie will not like to hear, Edgeworth. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid! She's been charged with murder! Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 77777777777. Okay, I'll stop. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. Wow, the prosecutors and those who commit forgeries. The Asshole Night incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In the trial 2 years ago, do you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat this question, Chief Prosecutor? 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least you did. What? You became a prosecutor in order to surpass crime with the law, but before you realized you were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator in the crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. She did. She used forged evidence to bring down Joe Dark. She knows this, but she doesn't want to say it. She has to say it. So you did use forged evidence. In other words, evidence that is not related. In other words, fake. You do not deserve being called as a prosecutor. You are stupid. How stupid are you, Lana? Oh my gosh. I eat spider, slugs, snails, and small insects that salad. Wow. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about, you slime ball. No! No! There you have it. Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. She made forged evidence, and she is stupid as a fruitcake for committing this. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is unbelievable. Wow. And I do believe we are going to stop right here because for another time being, oh my gosh, that was a really long live stream. Oh my goodness, don't worry. We're going to continue to pick up from where we left off for another time for another Arkham Twin Days on Tuesday. And don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and tell me, what do you guys think of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy? Or what do you think of this episode? Do you like it or hate it? Mash that like button or share this video if you guys love this game that's by Capcom. Or what do you think of Arkham Twin Days? And don't forget the premiere of Gotcha Memories, the visual novel, begins in around 20 minutes. So I'm going to eat some dinner and come back. So yeah. Anyways, this is Leo Wolverine saying and speaking as always as your friendly neighborhood spider cop and Master Chief, who takes chances making mistakes and getting messy like peanut butter and chocolate or breakfast for dinner. When the going gets tough, the job gets it done for a breath of fresh air. In Leo's Let's Plays Alliance, and this is Alliance Team. Godspeed, play safe, and shalom. Remember to fight with honor, love, truth, and justice, and see you guys next time for more of Arkham Twin Days. The truth will always be beside you. Always. See ya.